Hey everybody, welcome back to Poland. If you didn't see our last residency video and watch it to the end, you may be surprised to see what we're working on right now. If you haven't been watching our channel and you're new, this is what's happening. Julie and I, we've been traveling the world with our two dogs. We're trying to see what it's like to live in different places, locations, and we've been retired since March of 2020. Now, meantime, I am half Polish, and we came to Poland, and it's been a country I've been wanting to come to. I've got strong pulls coming this way because of my family history. I've got 4 great-grandparents from this beautiful country, and one thing that's always been kind of a dream has been the idea of being able to live in Poland. And I found out that we possibly can have residency by descent. So due to my history, we are working on putting our family history together to apply for permanent residency in Poland, and it may get denied. So we're going to put the whole thing together for you, show you what we're putting together, and try to show you that inside, not only genetically but in my heart, Poland is calling me to come and call Poland home.
Absolutely.
And we've been putting together a ton of information, but we're going to be visiting some of my ancestors' homes in our cities in this video and showing you areas where they lived. But we're going to be retrieving archived baptismal records of my great-grandparents, or at least 2 of them. I've got 4 from Poland, and we're working on the other 2, but this will be a journey of picking up those documents and showing you areas of Poland where my family came from. But we've been doing a lot of research at putting documents together and building the family history. And Julie, you've got stuff in here in your computer.
Oh, yes.
What you've got? Ship manifests.
Correct.
My grandparents' records.
Marriage records.
Marriage records. A lot of work, and we're up against challenges because Polish spelling doesn't always work with the way Americans want to spell things. So how many different name changes have we had to work through?
With one alone, it's probably at least 10.
Yes. My grandfather's name on my mom's side is Minich, M-N-I-C-H. And then we also have Dabrowski, but it's also Dombrowski, and so it's been challenging.
I'm upwards of 70 hours on the project at least. Plus, we have a genealogy expert as well.
Yes. So anybody else looking at going down this path in Poland, reach out to our genealogy expert. We'll put her information into this video. And Crackspire here is putting together our permanent residency program package together. Come along as we try to explore my Polish side of who I am. 4 of my great-grandparents come from Poland, and their children were born in America. William Minich is my grandfather on my mother's side, and Wanda Dabrowski is my grandmother. Today, we're going to hunt down William Minich's parents' baptismal records. My great-grandfather, Alexander Minich, was born in the village of Rudniki, which is not far from the city of Sandomierz, which is where the archive is that holds his baptismal record and proof of his birth. It was about 2.5 hours to get there from Krakow, so we decided we were going to stay the night to explore and check out the city. So somewhere around here was where my great-grandfather grew up. So we're actually walking and checking out areas where he would have walked. So to me, this is, somewhat moving. It's checking out history. A part of the family that obviously I never got to meet, but this is where my roots come from, coming down my Polish lineage. As we drove on to Sandomierz, and we went through the countryside and different villages along the way, I imagine that this would be an unrecognizable area to my great-grandfather, that there's been so many changes. And while much of this has changed, there's so much that stayed the same. As we passed the cemetery, I wondered, do I have relatives in there? Did my great-grandfather know anybody that is buried in there? We eventually arrived to the city of Sandomierz, and I'm going to tell you, the place blew us away. And as we've looked at different places as potentially locations to think about retiring to, Sandomierz all of a sudden is on our radar. I can't imagine actually living somewhere that my relatives of my past may have walked on a regular basis. It's quite mind-blowing. But Sandomierz, as you can see, is a beautiful place, and I can actually say it seems to be quite livable. So the hunt for my relatives past has brought us here to Sandomierz here in Poland, and it is gorgeous. This is a cute town, and it's amazing to think that ancestors of mine were walking around this place back in the 1800s. So,
yeah. 1890s.
Yeah. So our archive visit is in the morning, but we get to check this place out today, and I'm pretty impressed.
Oh, I am too, and so clean, so very nice.
It's gorgeous. Sandomierz is known for its preserved old town. It's a major cultural and tourist attraction, and it was declared a National Monument of Poland in 2017. The population of Sandomierz is approximately 24,000. Sandomierz has an interesting history with vodka. While vodka, some say, originated in Poland in the 8th century, and others may argue it was the 9th century in Russia, what we can say is the first actual documented mention of vodka came from Sandomierz in 1405. This region during World War II was the scene of many Poles that were killed in mass executions and murdered by the German fascists. It also had its Jewish population completely exterminated, sending approximately 7,000 Jews from this region to death camps. The area was captured by the Germans within 2 weeks of their invasion in 1939. Knowing that throughout the whole country, 17% of all Poles were killed during World War II, I can only wonder, did my family fare okay? Did they survive? The more I research, the more we want to dig deeper for the answers. Fortunately, much of Sandomierz old town survived, and you can still come through here and just see how beautiful it is, and imagine how beautiful it was in the past. I don't know what exactly we expected when we came to Sandomierz, but what I can tell you is the beauty of the architecture and the vibe within this town blew us away. It was very uplifting. Even though there's that darkness from the past, you can feel the brightness of the future here and the kindness of the people. There were so many different restaurants and bars, and there were a lot of tourists in this area as well. I don't know if it was almost the intoxication of being in my family's region, but I love this place. So Julie and I, when we're wandering around Poland, we're thinking, can we live in different places? And right now we're really falling in love with this little place quickly. So I would say that maybe history could repeat. Maybe at some point I could live where our ancestors or my ancestors came from. And that would be really, really cool. Well, Julie, I can tell you my great-grandfather was lucky to have had this place, I think. Obviously, it's probably quite different, but it's a beautiful, beautiful place. Lots of history.
It's gorgeous.
This has been a really full and actually somewhat even emotional day in many respects for us to walk through this town. But I gotta tell you, if you're a tourist or if you're an expat and you're just looking for a place to go and maybe call home, and maybe you're a nomad and looking for somewhere to spend a month or two, you need to check out the city.
It's actually very beautiful, and the people are so kind. So even if you don't have the same type of history that I have here, I'm sure that if you came to Sandomierz, you're going to fall in love with it. There's just so much to experience, and the beauty is just outstanding. This will not be the last time we're walking around Sandomierz, that's for sure.
So I'm going in to pick up the certified document, I hope, of my great-grandfather's birth. And it's right here at the edge of the old town. Pretty unassuming building, but that's the archive, so let's go see what happens. Okay, so we are in the archives, and so this is where we'll be picking up the record, and it's all up there. Amazing they still have all this stuff after all the wars and history. So this is exciting. I got this document, and it's certified on the back. So one great-grandparent down. Let's go find the Mary Leash and go check out her city. So one document down, we have Alex Minnick taken care of. So now we're going to be taking off to Mary Leash's city. Okay, so now I'm at the archives for Mary Lease, and I'm going to go in there and see if I can get her records now.
Mary Lease's city only has a population of 155 today. This is the region where her records are being stored. She actually lived closer to Sandomierz after we found the location on the map of where her village is, but we found her document.
So we got the document from the archive, and it's stamped and sealed. Now the issue we may have here is that it's in Russian, and also the name changed as she got to America. And the reason it's in Russian, in case you don't know your history, this area was ruled by Russia prior to 1920, and they were over this area for about 100 years.
Kielce is a beautiful town. It's got a population of about 200,000. It's definitely a place that we wouldn't mind spending a little bit more time exploring. We went ahead and stretched our legs and strolled around the town. It was not the town, of course, that Mary Lease came from, but we'd like to pretend that maybe she had passed through here, and perhaps so did Alexander Minnick. We know that they actually met in America, but they actually didn't live that far from each other. Maybe that's what brought them together, living in the Polish community. I can assume that somebody from the Polish community mentioned, "Oh, Mary Leash, she's lived near you. You guys should get together and talk." At least I think that's probably how the match was set up. So now after strolling around Kielce and looking at its beautiful parks and buildings, we took our documents back to Krakow and to our attorneys working on our residency program over at Crackspire. Their information is, of course, in the video description, as well as the information for our genealogist if you're interested in utilizing her as well.
And thanks to ancestry.com, we're definitely getting a lot of information we need as well.
Yeah, and unfortunately we're paying for all that ancestry.com too.
Yes, we are.
There's nothing free coming here, so but
No.
it is what it is. It's an expense worth taking on to get to know
The challenge, yes.
the
This is what
history.
happens.
I mean, I've known the history, but now we're getting down to the nitty gritty of things I knew and actually the fact finding, which
There's
is
quite a few twins in his family, which surprised me. So
yeah, interesting stuff.
Hope you enjoyed today's video as we explored my Polishness and tried to research my history. I hope that you're going to give this video a like, that you're going to subscribe and follow along. Now, as a reminder, Julie and I, we've been traveling the world with our two dogs, trying to see what it's like to live in different countries, different places and locations, and we've been trying to share our experiences and expenses with you. Now, things are changing, potentially. Poland may become a much larger focus in our world going forward, so stay tuned. We'll see what happens next. So until next time, have a great day, everybody. Bye-bye.